you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely. So, as you know, Carrie, because it has been an awfully long time ago, I started in the business over 19 years ago. I can't believe it's been that long. 19 years ago when I started my career. When I started right out of the gate, I moved to Florida and had 6 listings in 5 weeks. And I've never stopped doing all of the basics that we start out with in real estate. And that was pretty amazing considering that I didn't know a single person in Florida. I moved here with my now ex-husband and my daughter, who is now 23, and at the time she was 3 years old,
Wow.
and then started my real estate career. I started in Palm Beach County and did 15 years worth of real estate in Palm Beach County, about 2 years in Orlando, and then the last few years have been in St. Lucie County, Martin County, and in that area. And I still service Palm Beach County. I'll actually be there on Tuesday in Royal Palm because I have a beautiful client. They're moving down from New York and they bought sight unseen with me, actually. They hadn't seen the house. They flew down on the day that we signed the contract because we were negotiating the day before. They checked the house out and signed the contract, no contingencies.
Oh, wow. So let's talk about this customer that you have that purchased the home sight unseen. So obviously this was a cash buyer, right?
They were actually not a cash buyer. They were under a conventional mortgage, and I have a mortgage broker that I work closely with, although we do still offer 3 mortgage companies, but it's a mortgage banker. So we had been looking for properties, and we actually had written 8 contracts, which is the most I've ever written in my career. I've never written that many ever in all these years. We had written 8 contracts before we got the right home.
Oh, wow. So tell me a little bit more when it comes to the insurance aspect of this property that you were able to, sell it, do the transaction and it's sight unseen. How did the insurance process go for you and your client?
Well, if you don't mind, I'd like to actually go. Can I tell you about one of the other properties? Would that be okay? That they had a
That's
challenge with?
okay.
So we
So
were unable, is that okay?
that's
Yep, no.
fine.
So we were unable to buy the previous property. And the reason we were unable to buy the previous property is that once we did the inspection, again, we put a contract on that sight unseen. We had our contract all set, ready to go, scheduled the inspection. The listing agent of the property was apparently told by the seller that it had a newer roof. The roof was only 9 years old. We went and did the inspection of the property and we found out that they had termites, that the roof was actually original. It was over 25 years old. And we started to find out that some of the walls were actually frame, even though it was said that it was CBS. So we went through the whole process. As you know, you can't really insure a property that has termites unless it's been termite treated. And if the roof doesn't last a certain amount of time, and you can definitely expand upon that, if it's not, the life expectancy of the roof is not long enough, then unfortunately you can't insure the home. So
Wow.
tell me a little bit more about your side on that insurance, because that's what I found out.
Yeah, you know what? That's a great point. So, for the reasons of termites, termites is not covered on your regular homeowner's insurance policy. So, unfortunately, we always remind customers that vermins are not covered, unfortunately, because it's kind of like preventative maintenance. Now, with the roof here in South Florida, particularly, they want to see roofs that are 10 years or newer, especially a shingle roof. It's just because the timeline on a roof is really 15 years, even though the manufacturer will say 25 to 30 years on the pre-packaged box. That's if there's no weather elements hitting that roof. Of course, it's going to last 25 to 30 years. So I can see why your customer might have moved on to another property. And that's pretty awesome that you were able to find another property and know to look out for these challenges. I think sometimes we'll see listings and it'll say the roof is brand new, and we'll ask the realtor, well, did you really get, proof that the roof was really replaced and not patched here and there? Because it's hurricane season. The worst thing we want to do is purchase a home and have it say that, you have 3 to 5 years left on the roof, but 2 months later, the roof starts caving in. That happened to me personally. But I had to, I was ready to replace the roof and I was able to get that done, before everyone's pulling permits now because the housing market is just really gone up there. So I'm guessing with this new property that your customer purchased sight unseen, which I hear that a lot. I do. There's no time to really come down and meet. So, even though we're talking about insurance and real estate, I think a lot of people are wondering what is going on in the real estate market from your perception. Please, I know it's not the same as '08. It's not, because the lending is on point and they're ethical about that. But what is going on in 2021? Why are we having such a bubble?
So some of the reasons, I'll share with you some of the reasons it's not like 2008. The reason it's not like 2008 is that 34% of the homeowners in the United States actually own their home free and clear. And actually, when we look at the total numbers, there's an additional group of homeowners that own 50% of their home. So those people are not going to go into foreclosure, short sale, or anything of that nature because they have equity in their home. So that's one of the reasons I'm actually working on a video that I'm going to be placing on YouTube that goes into this exact question in detail about this potential housing bubble and what is happening. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, I have all the information from them where they're saying the numbers and where it is. We're still looking at appreciation. And so the biggest challenge that we're having with real estate right now, especially in Florida, and I have this on a larger scale as well, but especially in Florida, is that we're somewhat at a neutral with our number of listings, but we have such a major abundance of buyers now. And the reason that we have an abundance of buyers is they can work from home because of COVID. So a lot of people now have decided, I don't necessarily want to live in XYZ. I want to take my lifestyle, my family, myself, my career, whatever it is, and I want to live in Florida where it's warm. So they now have that opportunity that they could live anywhere that they choose and they can work remotely. Also, with COVID, there's several people here, even locally, that have decided to close down their restaurants, maybe in, say, New York, and they've come here and now they're living that different dream because they wanted to move to New York. And rather than it being later when they were going to retire, they've now chosen to do it now so that they can live their life here.
Oh,
so
wow.
We're having people, there's actually a term for it, nomadic, and there's another term where people are moving all across the United States right now. They're adjusting where they want to live.
So if
we have
we
too
had
many
to find
buyers
you,
and not enough sellers.
wow. And I can understand that. Just to get back on how to find you, right? If we want to find you on your YouTube station, how do we get a hold of you? Which I'll make sure to put the link in on this video. But what's the name of your YouTube channel?
It's under Tamela Talks Real Estate.
Oh, wow. Wow. I know. So listen, Tamela, I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I do want to thank you for, stopping by and just give me little tidbits. We'll be doing this at 1 o'clock each and every Friday. So we're making a commitment to ourselves and to the general public to be of service. When you think about insurance and real estate, we're your two gals that will be able to help you. Thank you so much, Tamela.
Thank you so much, Carrie. It's a pleasure to see you.
All right.